Hello, Donny Carr here with another In the Studio. Hope everyone's doing well. Before we get into the video, there's something I want to mention really quick. Earlier this year, I had a few artists reach out and request to remix one of my tracks. That track was Merlin's Oath, which was released in 2019 on Mango Alley as part of their 80E compilation. Those artists were GMJ and Matter from Melbourne, Australia. I've been a big fan of theirs for a long time, so I was really stoked when they reached out and wanted to remix one of my tracks. Of course, I said yes, gave them the parts, and they made an amazing remix. The reason I'm mentioning this is that remix is out now. It's out now on Mango Alley's Augmented series, which is a various artist compilation. So I'll put it in the description, the first link, if you want to go check out the GMJ and Matter remix of my track Merlin's Oath. They did an amazing job. I hope you like it. Okay, so let's get into the video. For this one, I wanted to design from scratch a deep, creamy bass line. So I have this little beat here. Super simp. And I thought I would design a bass from scratch and take you along the way with me. So let's get into it. What I will use for this is Reactor, specifically the Monark player, which is one of my favorite plugins for bass lines. So this is what it sounds like when you just load it up. The kind of the default preset is that sound, which is not exactly what I'm after. I'm just going to kind of rework this default preset here. So I'm going to take the resonance and the contour down because I want this just to be, I don't really want a filter envelope on this. So let's hear what that sounds like. That's already kind of in the ballpark. As you can see, I just have a basic F note plotted down already in the piano roll. Okay, so I'm just going to mute the drums and the kick for a second, and we'll kind of just dial this in. Okay, so I don't need any resonance. I don't need the contour on this, which is kind of the depth of the filter envelope. Let's see. What I will do is I'm just going to move this oscillator 3 down 1 octave, and I'm going to make this a saw wave. Or the same type of saw wave as the oscillator 2. And dial those back a touch. Let's just play with the detune on this. Something like that, where you get this kind of slow beating of the oscillators, which I think is pretty cool. Maybe introduce a little bit of noise, just kind of dirty it up a little bit. Okay, I might increase the load here just to thicken out the sound a little bit, give it some more body. Okay. Yeah, I don't really need the modulation on this. Just make sure that's at 0. I mean, and that's already in the ballpark. There. Yeah. Cool. Let's hear this with the kick. And I'll probably definitely be adding some side chains, so let's just kind of dial that in. Okay. Now, the bass sounds good. I'm happy with that sound, but it has way too much like super low end. So let's get that under control. So I'm just gonna grab one of my favorite EQs and let's just pull up span so you can see here. See, that's just a thunderous bass right here. You can see how much that's poking out. It's too much for what I want to use it for. I want more often than not, I like to have the kick kind of be the dominant force in the low end, and then have the bass support the kick in the very low end. So I'm going to take away some of those low end frequencies on the bass. So let's just, I'm actually going to do this with the kick playing. Yeah, that's better there. And I'm just gonna roll off the top just because I don't need it. Here without and with the EQ. Just under control now, that low end. Okay, cool. So let's, just gonna mute the kick again. Now I might just add a little bit of distortion here. I might just use the wave shaper like maybe on this. Sometimes what I like to do is just do a simple little curve like this, which just kind of gives just adds a little bit of distortion. We just pull the mix down on this. It's subtle, but just adding a little grit there. I think that will work. And I mean, for a bass like this too, I'd probably just have it really just filtered right down, you know, down something like that. Kind of hear that fuzz. I'm not sure if that's coming from the noise or what, but we can just kind of get rid of that if we wanted to. So by filtering this down. Yeah, I'm looking for just a really just deep, nice creamy bass here. Now it is pretty dynamic. You could see in the wave, you know, the peaks here where it's just kind of jumping around a little bit. I mean, we do have the sidechain on there, but even without the sidechain, you could see it kind of fluctuating up and down. That's a little bit too dynamic for me. I really want to maybe even this out a little bit. So I'm just going to add a little compression here. So I'm going to grab the LA2A. I think this compressor will work. It does, at least for me personally. I think it works really nice on these types of like deep sustained bass lines. If I was making a rhythmic kind of more plucky bass, I would choose a different compressor if I wanted to add compression on it, something that I had more control over the attack and release. This compressor, I don't have those controls. which is part of the reason why I like it, because it's simple and it sounds good. Okay, so let's just add a little compression here to just even out these dynamics a little bit. Yeah, just makes it a little bit more consistent. Looks like it's still jumping around a little bit, but I think it definitely sounds a little bit more even and consistent. There you go. There's a kind of a deep, sustained bass line for you. Really simple sound. I mean, just a couple oscillators, slightly detuned. We added a little bit of noise in there, and then just some minimal processing just to kind of, make it fit with the kick a little bit better, even out the dynamics. And there you go. I mean, I really find that the simpler the sounds, the simple sounds just work so much better. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you found this useful. Leave me a comment or question. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care.